Come on, we here for a celebration, you guys. You can clap your hands. Come on, celebrate with us. Never knew a day like this would come and see a new view. It's alright. Now we're here, we show the world that we can do. It's out of sight. So the partners and CMJ collaborated and made a way. So get ready, so get ready. So get ready, so get ready, 'cause here we come. Get ready, 'cause here we come. Get ready, 'cause here we come.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. They said get ready. Are you ready? Ready. Are you ready? It has been one heck of a time getting this building together, ladies and gentlemen. We started this probably, almost 9-10 years ago? For others, it's been a longer time than that. A lot of people, a lot of collaboration, and that is why we are here today to celebrate. At this time, I want to have our partner in this project come up. They have done a fabulous job working with CMHA, working with the community. They came in and really took this project on with seriousness, have worked through us through numerous challenges, but all with the vision of getting this thing right. So George Talbot from Community Builders, please come forward. As he's walking forward, I want to acknowledge the president of the head of the Community Builders, Mr. Bart Mitchell. Thank you, Bart, for coming out from Boston. We appreciate it.
Well, good afternoon. I'm George Talbot. I'm the Regional Vice President for the Community Builders. I'm thrilled to be here today in Buckeye-Woodhill neighborhood. Our mission at the Community Builders is to build and sustain strong communities where all people can thrive. And I can't imagine a better example of that mission in action than this fantastic community we're standing in front of today. So our team is really incredibly grateful and proud to be partners with CMHA, with the City of Cleveland, and really all of the folks here today in building this fantastic new community. And we're just getting started. Together with the Woodhill Community Choice Neighborhood project team, we're working on a plan to deliver 687 apartments in the neighborhood that will be at affordable rents that everybody in this community can afford. Woodhill Station West, that we're standing in front of today, will open its doors, is opening its doors to 120 families of all sizes. Residents at Woodhill Station West enjoy a fitness space, community spaces, other amenities where neighbors can come together and be in community. And for all the Woodhill residents, TCB Community Life is connecting families to opportunities to earn, learn, and thrive. Most importantly, I'd like to, about the Woodhill Station community is that it's a new home for the first 90 residents that were originally on the Woodhill campus to return to the community, which is an incredible achievement we're all proud of. That's right. Thank you. So I want to thank the TCB, the Community Builders Woodhill team. We've got property management, community life, and our real estate teams that are here today who have done a fantastic job on behalf of our organization bringing this to fruition. And I'd be remiss if I didn't call out a former TCB staffer who's with us today, Jeff Beam. He was, yeah, that's right. He's a celebrity. I have big shoes to fill following in his footsteps. Jeff was the first TCB staff person on the scene, was instrumental in getting the project off the ground for our organization and played a huge role in the community as well, and so we're all really proud of him. I'd also like to acknowledge our funders. and partners that have made this project possible. We have philanthropic support from Gun Foundation and St. Luke's Foundation. And of course, we have the Department of Housing and Urban Development here, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, Lument Bank, Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing. Thank you very much, Mr. Patterson. And lastly, and most importantly, thank you to the residents. Yeah, that's right. Together we're building homes for all of the community in Cleveland. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Mr. Patterson.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Like we said, there were just so many people that were involved in this project at different times. But our next speaker was involved in the conception of this project. Her voice has been heard very frequently throughout this process. Her contributions to this have been numerous. We all have a tremendous amount of respect for this person, so I want to ask the Mayor of Woodhill, Ms. Marilyn Burns, to come forward and say a few words.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. All right, now, you know, as the previous speakers that came up, I see pieces of paper where people wrote down their speech. Don't never follow the script if I write down a speech. But I do go by the script that has been written on my heart by my Creator. So let's go from that. Amen? Amen. All right, now, this is a wonderful day that the Lord has made, right? Let us rejoice in it. Be glad and rejoice in it. Am I right? Yes. Amen. It is such a beautiful building. It is such a great opportunity for the residents that were at Woodhill Estates to finally move into this new building. But I always want us to remember that it's just more than just brick and mortar. We have this house that we need to rebuild and restore. And as residents move into this new building, let's not forget about our house, our bodies. For this body has many rooms that need to be rebuilt and restored. And as things come together here, let's do a culmination to fix this house that the Lord has made, because He has not made any junk, and we are fearfully and wonderfully made. I hope as things progress with Woodhill West, as well as Woodhill East and Woodhill Central, we keep in mind these things, because we not only want to build up new buildings from brick and mortar, but we want to rebuild our house within our bodies. Thank you very much.
And thank you again, Ms. Burns, for all you have done to keep us focused and on task throughout this project. We also have had a lot of residents and leadership that have evolved through the process. And one of the residents that has made a lot of contributions to this so far, and will continue to make even greater contributions as we move forward, is a current resident of Woodhill Station West. I'd like to ask Mr. Rondell Sheffy to come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Rodnell Sheffy, and I'm a proud resident of Woodhill Station West. Yes. I have called Woodhill my home for 14 years. I'm so excited to be with you all this afternoon. When I moved to Cleveland from Pittsburgh to be closer to my son, I found a stable and affordable home at Woodhill. I work as a master painter. I love it because I love to make things beautiful. And let me tell you, the new Woodhill Station West is beautiful. All right. Today is a new beginning for Woodhill. Everyone who moves in has a big smile on their face. I love having laundry in my apartment and community spaces like the picnic area and new playground for families. And we're lucky to have TCB community life coordinators on site who have beautiful attitudes and want the best for us. I believe that housing is in life. Everyone deserves the opportunity to live in a beautiful place like Woodhill Station West. A stable home brings a sense of belonging, and I look forward to welcoming my new neighbors as Woodhill's newest floor captain. To everyone at the community builders, CMHA, and all today's speakers, thank you for my new home.
All right.
And to both Rondell as well as Ms. Burns, thank you again for your engagement and your support in this project. And we look forward to continue to work with you as we build those other phases that Ms. Burns mentioned when she spoke. You know, we've had, again, some tremendous leaders in this project. But one of the good things about today is the opportunity to talk to people who have been here just since the very beginning. Since we were just looking at forums and saying what needs to be done. And this individual was there at that time, showed critical leadership, came to every meeting that we had, and anything that we needed as we went through this process, he was there with his support. And that support meant so much to us. So at this time, I'd like to ask the council president of the Cleveland City Council, Blaine Griffin, to come forward.
Thank you. I just want to know where I can get some of these cool glasses that Jeff has during the press conference. I get a kick out of watching that. You know, I'm watching, he's trying to got that Biden look today. You know? So let me say this, something special is happening here in the Woodland Hills community. And you all need to give yourself a round of applause for that. Something special is happening here. It started with a vision, and I always tell everybody this story that I'm very fond of, that an old Baptist preacher told me one time about Michelangelo and how he had a vision, and he looked at a rock, and it was just this rock that was sitting there. And what he did is he stared at that rock for days, weeks, months, years, and he took his time. But when he started chiseling away at that rock, he put together things of beauty. David and the statue of David and the Pieta and other things like that. And that's what we're seeing here today, because so much hard work goes on behind the scenes to make these things happen. And the TCP and the CMHA and all of the folks, let's give them a round of applause for really working hard. This is not easy, y'all. Let me just be clear. There's always times when we had to talk with each other and say, how are we gonna come up with this money? And Jeff Beam would come and say, you know, Councilman, we need another $15 million. And I said, I don't know where we gonna get it, but I'm gonna go home and pray tonight, Ms. Burns, and try to hope we can find out. But it's so important for this neighborhood, and let me say why. This neighborhood, as of right now, as of the last census, has the lowest life expectancy in the entire county. Ladies and gentlemen, with projects like these, right next to transportation-oriented development, grocery stores up the streets, grocery stores down the street, we're rebuilding this neighborhood one person at a time, one family at a time. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, one building and one block at a time. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here today. I started my career right across the street at East End Neighborhood House. So this is always, I see you too, man. This is always home to me. I live in a neighborhood. I love this neighborhood so much that I moved into this neighborhood. So this is personal to me. This is special to me. And I'm really so happy and so glad that the residents are coming back home and not leaving this neighborhood, but choosing to make Buckeye your destination. Thank you all so much. I look forward to seeing you.
All right. Thank you, Council President. And again, thank you for your leadership in this project. I would be remiss if I also did not mention another person. I don't believe she was able to make it today, but I also want to shout out India Pierce-Lee, you know, with the Cleveland Foundation. So India approached me when I got this position, and we were doing some developments in some other areas, and she said, Jeff, we got to do Woodhill. It's time. We got to do Woodhill. We got to do Woodhill. And we put together the Choice Neighborhood Grant, and then it just went from there. So to India Pierce-Lee, who was with the Cleveland Foundation, but now is with Tri-C, I thank her for nudging and staying focused and helping us to bring this day here. So thank you, India. also want to take opportunity to shout out another community partner that has worked with us. That's Cleveland Neighborhood Progress. That's Tanya Maness and her team at CNP. So Tanya, thank you for all your work and all your support, both in your role as CNP as well as in your role as City of Cleveland. So thank you, Tanya, as well. At this point in time, I want to call up a person that came into this as we were moving along, but made her presence felt from the onset. She wanted to make sure that we continued engagement in this process and made sure that we had representation from this ward as a part of this. So I'm going to ask Ms. Deborah Gray to come forward and say a few words as well.
Thank you, everybody. This is a game changer, a huge game changer. I am so proud and happy to be part of this Woodhill Station West, that's now in Ward 4. But I also want to give thanks to Indigo and Marilyn Burns. When this project started, 8 years ago, I'm in Ward 4. Marilyn Burns called me every time to come to the meeting at the Woodhill Station Rec Center. I did not miss one meeting because of Marilyn Burns. Even though that we thought in the beginning that this would be part of Ward 6, she made sure that I was part of each and every meeting. Also Indigo, so I can bring this information back to the residents in Ward 4. So I will say thank you, Marion, thank you, Indigo. But I want to say this is a huge game changer for Ward 4. To see this spectacular building on this corner that's going to bring residents back into the community, as our council president, Blaine Griffin stated, that people are going to see and start believing that development and infrastructure started in Ward 4, and now everyone can be part of the decision. And that is the mainstream for us to understand. It doesn't take one, it takes all to believe and trust that everybody is coming back to Ward 4. So I just want to say I'm humble and I'm grateful to be the councilwoman of Ward 4 at this time to make all these great decisions of what's going to be developed in Ward 4. But I also want to thank Jeff Bean. I want to thank Jeff Bean because he was my mentor of having me understanding how this building was being built and what it meant to the community. So I appreciate you, Jeff. I miss you. But however, thank you for leading the way of getting this building set up here and built up in Ward 4. So I want to say thank everyone. And my partner is BBC Director Joy Johnson. I don't want to leave Joy out because Joy has been a mentor and a leader in this project too as well. And also all the residents next door, the Hunt family, Danielle, and everyone else that's going to be partner over here and neighbors, because we're going to build a relationship. We're going to make sure not only this building is going to be taken care of, we're going to make sure the neighbors who have been here 40, 50, 60 years will be taken care of too, because that area will be beautified as well. So understand that. That is our beginning too. So thank you everybody for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Appreciate it. Gotta love the enthusiasm. Yeah. And I say to everyone, you hear people coming up and you hear people talking and shouting different people out. This has just been one heck of a collaborative process. And a lot of people have grown in this process. There are a lot of people that didn't have anything to do or any understanding of housing and how all of this stuff worked. And they got a master's level education in this process of how to collaborate, how to understand how to operate within the lines, how to understand what can be done, what can't be done, and more importantly, what you have to do to make things happen. So thank you all for that. I also want to shout out in the back the clerk of council, Clerk Britt in the back. Thank you for coming out as well. Appreciate it. And on the grant, as we applied through this process, you know, our partner in this was not just TCB. Our partner in this was the city of Cleveland. Now, the city of Cleveland did not have to be a part of this. They could have said no. They could have said that there were other things that they could do. But they felt very strongly about being a part of this development and a part of this area. And what's interesting is that through changes in administration, this project has still remained a priority for the city of Cleveland. So I thank Mayor Bibb and his administration for that. And we have Jeff Epstein, who is the Chief of the Integrated Development for the city, here to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. It's so great to be here. I bring greetings from Mayor Bibb. His State of the City was today. It's kind of consumed his whole day. He says his regrets, but he's so excited about the project. And I just, it's like truly a privilege to be here. I've been working on this with everyone for a couple of years. Had the privilege of working with the Burns. I love that we have residents centered at the program today, just like I think residents have been centered in this whole project in a really incredible way, which I find inspiring. And there's something incredible about the rootedness and community that residents of city are moving away and coming back to this place because it's such an important piece of their lives. I've got a really unique role at City Hall. My title is Integrated Development. There's so much integration I want to highlight on this project. You know, I think Marilyn mentioned that it's building, you know, real estate development is about more than buildings, it's about people. And this is this great integration of people, of buildings, of program, of neighborhood revitalization, of working across the community with businesses, with public space, with transit development. Is a critical piece of the project. It also is integration with things that are going on beyond this. You know, we talked about in the last few months, we had the groundbreaking ribbon cutting at the Meyer down the hill that Council President referenced, at the Ori at Innovation Square. That development, which is coming up, Opportunity Corridor, as we continue to see development there. So the revitalization of Shaker Square that my colleagues Tanya and Joy are working on. There are so many great things, the revitalization of the Southeast Side, and I'm so happy that this project is now going along. We have 5 more ribbon cuttings after this to go, and so can't wait to be in all of those. It takes incredible collaboration. You've heard about it all day today. I'm really grateful for my colleagues at the administration. I want to particularly shout out Community Development Director Alyssa Hernandez and her team who worked really hard on this. I think our Assistant Planning Director, Marka Fields, is here. Shout out to our planning department, our capital projects. It is an army of dedicated civil servants at the city who help to work alongside everybody to make these happen, these projects like this happen. But at the core of it, this is about the residents, and it's a great day for the residents of the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief Epstein, and again, thank you to the City of Cleveland for their commitment to this project. We also are fortunate to have representatives from our county government who has also been partners and been someone that we could always trust and work in the various different capacities that she served in. So I'm going to ask Councilwoman Meredith Turner to please come forward and say a few words.
Thank you. And I want to thank Mr. Patterson for always allowing me to carpet bag, come to the pep rally and celebrate this extraordinary accomplishment with you today. To all the elected officials, all the partners, and all of our VIPs in the audience today, the residents, thank you so much for having me here to celebrate the future of the Buckeye-Woodhill neighborhood and you. CMHA plays a vital role in our city by providing affordable housing to thousands of residents. I was one of those residents. My mother's first job was at CMHA, so I am a Carver Park baby, and I never miss an opportunity to celebrate with you all because I know the journey, I know where you started, and I know where you can end up. Through CMHA's partnership with the City of Cleveland and community builders, hundreds of new affordable, high-quality apartments and townhomes will be available for families at Woodhill Homes. These updated spaces, new spaces, can provide a sense of dignity, pride, and well-being among the tenants, both new and returning, while also celebrating the neighborhood that many call home. When families have access to quality housing like Woodhill Homes, this affects the whole family. Children can thrive academically, parents can secure stable employment, and individuals can pursue their goals and dreams with greater determination. Woodhill Homes will provide a solid foundation upon which residents and families can build stable lives. I'm so happy to be here with you to celebrate. I commend the City of Cleveland and CMHA on behalf of Council President Purnell Jones, my colleagues, and myself. Thank you and all of the partners for making this investment into both the community and our residents. Continuing to invest in projects like this will benefit all of Cuyahoga County. So today we invest in the future of our community and the well-being of all of its residents. And I'll leave you with this quote because it's very clear. There is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Appreciate your support and your presence and the fact that you bring another level of connection to the people that serve this city as well as the people that live in the city. So thank you for your work. At this time, I want to ask a representative from Congresswoman Chantel Brown's office to please come forward, Mr. Breon Pittman.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me today. Congresswoman couldn't make it, so I attended in her presence to present the certificate of special congressional recognition. It's presented to Woodhill Homes. I am writing to extend my warmest congratulations on the occasion of the ribbon cutting ceremony and grand opening of Woodhill Homes. It is truly inspiring to see transformation and revitalization of the Buckeye-Woodhill community through this project, which will convert an empty lot into 120 quality, affordable apartments for families. It is a $46.4 million development, representing the first phase of the Buckeye-Woodhill Choice Neighborhoods implementation. This is an incredible achievement that will undoubtedly have a profound impact on the lives of those living in this area. I commend the collaborative and community efforts of CMHA, the City of Cleveland, TCB, and more than 200 partners who have worked tirelessly to accomplish this project. The Choice Neighborhoods Implementation Grant, awarded by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, is a testament to the dedication and commitment of all involved in ensuring equitable neighborhood development in Cleveland. Once again, congratulations on this momentous occasion. I wish you all the best for the future and look forward to seeing the positive impact that this development will have on the Buckeye-Woodhill community. Thank you.
Thank you, and please share with the Congresswoman our utmost appreciation and thanks for her support in this process. We also had John Ryan, who was going to be here to represent Senator Brown. He had something come up at the last minute as an emergency, so we appreciate that. I do want to formally acknowledge and make sure we give significant gratitude to Senator Brown. Senator Brown supported this project all the way through, and even after we received our original $35 million, he came back and was able to help us receive a supplemental grant. So thank you, Senator Brown. Let's give him acknowledgement as well. So since I'm also going to be introducing our representatives from HUD, I would be remiss if I did not take this opportunity to thank our former Secretary of HUD, Marcia Fudge, for her contribution to not only this city, not only this county, not only this state, but to this country. Her dedication, her passion, her love for this community and the people that live in this community goes without saying. So again, let's show our appreciation for our former Secretary, Marshall Fudge. And in that same mode of person, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary from HUD, Mr. Richard Minacchio. As Rich gets ready to come up, he is a phenomenal person. He's a houser. He's worked in many housing authorities across this country. He showed different roles in city leadership. This is a man that gets it. When we talk about housing issues, he's not about bureaucracy. He's about trying to find ways to make it work. We're very lucky to have him at HUD in the role that he's in. So Pete asked Richardson, please come. Minacchio, please come up.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for that introduction. I've gotten to know Jeff. My first stop in this job, I've been on it for 10 months, was in Cleveland. And we were talking about that the other day. It's a thrill for me to be back in Ohio and Cuyahoga County. You know, I do want to just for a second, though, piggyback on Jeff's remarks about Secretary Fudge. I know how important she's been to this region, and now we know how important she is to the nation. She's an inspiration. I was in Washington way back as a young guy and never thought I'd come back. Then I talked to Secretary Fudge, and I came back, and in large part it was in large part to her and the belief and the values that she has. We wish her nothing but the best, and I'm going to make sure that she knows what a wonderful ovation she received from you all today. We move on. We are in good hands. Acting Secretary Todman has a wealth of experience, and this is we got a lot of work to do. But this really exemplifies what we're about, right? What Choice Neighborhoods is. Transformation, but also leveraging resources, transit-oriented development, connections to employers, working with the residents, right? I congratulate the residents and the city for its commitment and our elected officials. But Choice is a resident-based development program. And I've been around the country, and the best developments I've seen in LA, in Seattle, in Lewiston, Maine, the best, most successful developments I've seen are the ones that have real resident input. And I commend Jeff for that. Allow me a second to, as we stand here today and see what the fruits of housing policy can be, to just talk a little bit about policy, because it's on everybody's mind now. It's an issue that's important nationwide, regardless of it's rural, small town, urban. It's an exciting time. For those of you who had a chance to see President Biden's State of the Union, you know, we haven't had a president talk about housing at that length for a very, very long time, probably 50 years. And he gave a subsequent speech in Nevada where he laid out his bold plan, our bold plan for the future. We've accomplished quite a bit in 3 years. New housing vouchers, record levels of investment into our homeless and helping our people who are homeless. But we know that more needs to be done. That's why President Biden announced the most far-reaching housing budget in the past half-century. We're going to continue to support the 5.5 million households that get rental assistance every year. But on top of that, we're going to see new investments, historic investments, vouchers for every veteran who's at risk of homelessness or homeless. Every veteran. We've come a long way on veterans' homelessness, but we got a ways to go, especially for those veterans who are at risk of homelessness, and all Americans who are at risk of homelessness. Also foster youth. You know, our young people shouldn't be homeless. And this president has made a commitment to house every single one of those young people leaving foster care. Thank you. Other things that address the supply of housing, right? We know we need to build more. There's a whole host of reasons why we're behind. They have to do with local government and zoning. They have to do with all the way to the federal disinvestment in housing. And this president understands that. Proposed a $20 billion innovative housing supply fund. $7.5 billion to modernize an aging public housing stock. That's twice as much as the annual appropriation. Another $7.5 billion to incentivize private developers to build affordable housing. So all told, this budget calls for the production and preservation of 2 million homes and apartments in America. That's the vision of this administration. You know, and I'll close by saying, housing is infrastructure. Housing is infrastructure. We have seen the incredible transformation that's taking place in this country because of the infrastructure bill. How our roads, bridges, ports, airports are being rebuilt. And the same thing is going to happen in housing. And we're going to have dozens and dozens of examples like what we have here in Woodhill behind us. So again, thank you all for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to be back, and congratulations.
Thank you, Peter Esmanacchio. We appreciate you coming, and I would not be myself if I didn't say to you that if you have any problem finding places to spend that money, not only do we have a Woodhill, we got a Cedar, we got a Lakeview, and we got an Outhwaite, just so you want to spread it around a little bit. I also want to take this moment, as we get ready to transition to a few of our other speakers, I want to take this moment to acknowledge just the teams of the different groups of folks that have been a part of this. So as I call your area, if you could please stand and be recognized. First and foremost, I want to thank our team, CMHA. Please stand and be recognized. A lot of folks, I want to particularly highlight Mr. Garrett Forrest. He's been a project lead on this. Thank you, Garrett. Rachel Lloyd, who's been involved in this process from the beginning. Matt Schmidt, who's done a phenomenal job. And Cynthia Chris, who's been on site working. So thank you all, as well as all the other team that has been a part of that. I want to ask the TCB team to stand as well. Great partners, great job. I want to say Jackie, Steve, George, Shaneway, Carla, Mark, Erica, Sheena, Dawn, thank you so much to all you have done as a part of this process. The City Architecture team. City Architecture, our main man, Alex Pesta, back there in the back. Philip, Michelle, thank you both for all that you've done as a part of this process. The Maroos brothers. All of the Maroos brothers, including Dan and Shazit. Got it? All right. Doug, Christine, and Arn. Good friend Arn. Thank you for coming out today. Appreciate it. The team from the Community Career Outreach. Marchman, if he's here. All right. The National Initiative on Mixed Income Communities. Mark Joseph standing back in the back. Mark was the glue that kept this all together. One of the main differences between our first application that we didn't receive and the application that we did receive was Mark Joseph coming in and helping us pull things together. So thank you, Mark, for being so impactful in that. I want to acknowledge Dustin and Debbie Weber as well. Our good friends and our good partners over at Burton Bell Car Development, Joy Johnson, Sherry Lynn, and Robert, thank you for your contribution to this process as well. And I have a few other shout outs as we get towards the end. So you've heard his name mentioned several times throughout this process. It's mentioned in fondness. It's very rare that you can leave a job and get invited to come back so quickly and receive smiles, but that says a lot about the work that he did while he was here. He's moved from TCB to Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing. He's there. He's the Executive Vice President, and congratulations on that. But it would not be a celebration if we not bring one of the core members of the team back to say a few words, Mr. Jeff Beam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jeff Beam. I've got some feelings today. So one of those feelings is gratitude to Catherine Coffin for the opportunity to come work for Ohio Capital Corporation and be part of an organization that for 35 years has helped create over 60,000 affordable housing units for families like these. And it's great to work with Catherine and a really outstanding group of teammates there, including the one who wrote the remarks that I'm not at all going to read from today. I'm also grateful to our investors who we pull the funds in from to help funnel into great projects like this one. In particular on this project, Civitas, Huntington Bank, and Key Bank. But, you know, Ohio Capital Corporation has always wanted to be part of days like this and the many, many, many days that preceded about getting a project conceived and financed and built and then run well. And so it's a privilege to be part of that. And you know, the other feeling that I have is just overwhelming pride in all of the people I get to talk to now. In my former colleagues from TCB, Bart and George leading an amazing team that's committed to this project and the 5 more that are going to follow. Pride in Jackie Hayden, who I got to hire and has lived this project, and Megan Capel, who came back to visit her first child. So I just love to be able to shout out them. So sorry, I am overindulging the time that the financing partners get to use on this one. But it is just such a proud day for me because of the friends I made here at Woodhill, who I hope are friends for life. And when it works, this is what it looks like. So on this day, you know, it doesn't work a lot, and it's hard, and nobody's under any illusions that, you know, easy days will follow this or have preceded this. But the sun is shining, spring is coming, it's Easter week, it's opening day. If we can't be proud and happy and celebrate a win today, then when else can we? So congratulations to Mr. Patterson, who I owe a great deal to as a partner and friend. And congratulations to the CMHA team and to the TCB team. This is really outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. We appreciate your comments. Just so you know, for the record, any overage is about $1 million a minute. You went about 7 minutes over, so we'll be looking for that contribution as we go forward. Did I get that right, Pastor Fields? We call it the building fund here. We also have some other partners that are here with us as well as part of the finances. So we have Taylor Koch from Ohio Housing Finance Agency here today. Is Taylor here with us? Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First, I want to thank George, the rest of the Community Builders team for inviting me here for the ribbon cutting of Woodhill Station West. My name is Taylor Cook, and I serve as the Director of Multifamily Housing at the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, or OFA for short. I'm also here with Guy Ford in the back, if you can wave, and Grant Miller, our Director of Legislative Affairs and Legislative Liaison. Every state in the country has a housing finance agency, just like OFA, that implements a really critical federal resource. It's called the Low Income Housing Tax Credit, or LIHTC for short. This program is the single largest driver of affordable rental housing. Since its inception in 1986, over 3.55 million units have been created and preserved across the country, including over 128,000 units in Ohio and 16,000 units here in Cleveland. Our legislative affairs staff always tell me not to get too much into the weeds, but I'm going to do that anyway, so bear with me. There are two different types of low-income housing tax credits that OFA administers. There's the 9% and then there's the 4%. The 9% covers 70 to 80% of the total development costs for projects like this, whereas the 4% covers 30 to 40%. So naturally, you can think that developers like the community builders and others would prefer an allocation of 9% credits as opposed to 4%. But here's the problem. Every state in the country is capped in its amount of 9% credits, and our agency routinely receives 3 applications for every 1 project that we can fund. On the flip side, 4% tax credits are not capped, but other sources have to be layered on top in order to achieve financial feasibility. 4% LIHTCs are as of right, but getting this additional financing is not easy. Just ask folks at the community builders. This project required additional gap financing from a HUD Choice Neighborhoods implementation grant, HUD's Home Investment Partnerships Program resources from both the City of Cleveland and Home Investment Partnerships resources from OFA, and HUD's Community Development Block Grant resources, which were administered by the City of Cleveland. So why do I bring this up? Because if you want more affordable housing here in Cleveland and across the state, we need more gap financing to come to the table at the local, state, and federal levels. The affordable housing industry learned this month that the Federal Home Investment Partnerships Program resources are being cut by 17%, and National Housing Trust Fund resources, which is another important gap financing tool, is being reduced by 43%. This is not the direction that we were hoping for. But there is good news. The state of Ohio has a brand new tool. It's called the Ohio Low Income Housing Tax Credit, which is essentially a state version of the federal LIHTC program. We're pairing these new state resources with 4% low-income housing tax credits to bring new affordable housing to life here in Cleveland and across the state. In fact, 2 projects were just funded last month with this new resource here in Cleveland. The first project is Waterston Lake, which is being co-developed by CMHA on the west side. And the second project is Parkside Homes East, which is being developed by CHN Housing Partners on the east side. That's in addition to 21 other affordable housing proposals here in Cleveland that OFA has funded over the last 3 years alone, including the next 2 phases of Woodhill Homes. So let's celebrate this important milestone at Woodhill Station West, but know that there is much more to be done. We need to collaborate more closely than ever before at all levels, and we need to collectively push for additional gap financing resources to make more projects like this come to life. Because we all know that affordable housing is key to unlocking opportunity. So thank you for the time. Congratulations to the community builders, the Cleveland Metropolitan Housing Authority, and most importantly to the families of Cleveland who will have the honor of calling Woodhill Station West home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You know, CMHA has 5 commissioners that serve on our board. They are appointed by representatives in this community. We are very fortunate to have 2 residents on our board that serve on our board. For a lot of housing authorities, that's not normal. For our whole housing authority and the respect that we have for the residents we have, it's important. So I want to thank both Council President Griffith as well as Mayor Bibb for appointing Ms. Diane Howard as well as Commissioner Nadine Head to our board. So thank you both for being here today. And Commissioner Head is going to come forward and say a few words. Commissioner Head was a resident at Garden Valley who went through this whole process of relocation. And not only did she go through it, she was a leader and remains a leader. It has just done a phenomenal job of representing not just the CMHA residents, but representing the CMHA community as a whole. So I'd like to call up Ms. Commissioner Nadine Head. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure to be here this afternoon to speak to the residents here because it brings back so many memories to me. Like he said, I can remember when I went through this process and when they tore down Garden Valley and we were attending those meetings, and I never thought that they would get through the process of tearing down and rebuilding. We're going through those meetings and meeting with the builders, and they're asking us, well, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And we're meeting. You never thought that the day would come, then turn around. It came to the day where they tore down the first building. I have the bricks from that first building that they tore down. 15 years later, I still have my bricks. Those are my trophies because we no longer live in bricks and mortar. We have homes. We have homes that look like we're in Shaker Heights or Beechwood. Beautiful homes. And for me to come here today and to see this building, you know, it brought tears to my eyes. And the first thing I did when I got here is I went inside and I had my tour already. That's the first thing I had to do. And oh my God, it is gorgeous. So I want to congratulate Mr. Patterson, the builders, everybody that had a part with this, and especially the residents for all the time that it took for you all to meet, to come to the meetings, that you waited, you met, and you're here today. Congratulations. I hope that you enjoy this building. I hope that you take pride in this building. I hope that you listen to what she said, that now that you're in this building, you have to transform, you have to change your mindset because it's a new day. You cannot be the old person that you was anymore. You're in a new building. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your heart. You have to do better. You have to live better. With this new building and this new community, you have new infrastructure. You have there's new money in this neighborhood. There's new everything. So now they have more money in here. They have more things in the community. They have more education. They have more jobs. I would tell you to take advantage of every opportunity that this neighborhood, this community have to offer you. Take advantage of it. It's here for you. You don't have to strive. Take advantage of it. The opportunity is here. And I just wish everybody the best because I took advantage of every opportunity that my new neighborhood had for me, and I'm still taking advantage of it. It's there for you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. As always, we appreciate your words and we appreciate your leadership. I want to acknowledge a few other key partners. Habitat for Humanity. If there's folks from Habitat for Humanity here, the work that they do, thank you so much for all that you do in the community. Land Studio, another great partner. They're going to be bringing a lot of the art to this project, so stay tuned for that as well. Digital C. Digital C has done a phenomenal job. That's the digital inclusion aspect of it, bringing the internet, housing to home, who has been our partner in working through the relocation process. towards employment, who provide supportive services to residents as they go through this transition. Our good friends over at East End Neighborhood House, thank you so much. Looking forward to you being a part of this in phase 3, so thank you. Lumit, Joy in the house. All right, Joy, thank you for your work and your commitment to this project as well. And I want to take this opportunity to just bring a few people forward. So we had 3 individuals that were chair people of the steering committee. So I would like to have Pastor Fields please come forward. Miss Marilyn Burns, please come forward. And Mr. Mark Joseph to come forward. So each of these individuals have been chair people of the steering committee, and I'd like to present each of them with this small token of our appreciation as they go forward. I could go on and on about their leadership, but they have just been phenomenal. So thank you for your service. And as we enter this next phase of the project, we're going to have some new leadership to be a part of this as well. Individuals that have said, hey, I want to be a part of this, and I want to see this community take the next step. So I'm going to ask our new TV star who was in the mayor's State of the City address today, Mr. Earl Ingram, to come forward. And Santasha Johnson. Santasha Johnson. These individuals, along with Michelle, who works at Providence House, will be the leaders of the next phase of this development. So thank you for taking on this challenge and look forward to working with you. And we talked about, you know, the community, the partnership that we had to have in this community, the number of people that were letting us know what was going on in this site, from dust to dirt to noise to everything, that wanted to make sure that we respected this community and their voices were heard. It has been a phenomenal partnership, but I want to recognize the two of the street captains that I believe are here today as a part of this process. So Miss Yvette Hunt and Miss Kim O'Neill, please come forward.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, and Mr. DeWitt Anaton. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our community. Thank you.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
On this wonderful day, we just want to thank everybody and tell you on behalf of the 400 employees of Bruce Brothers Construction that it is a privilege, truly a privilege, to work with CMHA and with the community builders and along with city architecture. But I would also tell you it is a blessing to serve the residents of this community. Truly a blessing. We thank you for your patience. We know sometimes it's a little noisy. We also know sometimes it's a little bit dusty. There's a little bit of mud. And change can be hard, but change can be beautiful. And today we're celebrating beautiful change. We'd like to present Bart Mitchell and the community builders and CMHA and all the residents with this commemoration of today's event. Thank you all and God bless you.